Oh boy, working 12-hour shift outage till Thursday. Anime, what exactly does that mean? You're like, every day is a 12-hour shift until Thursday? Also, hello. Hi. Heretical harassment. Greetings, Rugo. Alpha Note tells me all is in place to begin his trial company. The Scions shall certainly be grateful to have the support of such an organization. The inaugural ceremony is set to take place here at the Rising Stones. Tataru is cooperating with Alpha Note to see that all is in readiness. I'm afraid the recruits themselves have been left to their own devices for the time being. Quite a number of new faces have arrived in Revenant's Toll of late, and I wonder if Slathborn might not find himself overwhelmed. Please speak with him and see if there is aught he requires. This is like the definition of filler. Go talk to Slathborn. Why doesn't the new recruits do it? He looks like Ganondorf at home. What can I do for you, Rugo? I thought you'd have your hands full helping out with the new arm of the Scions. I barely noticed your recruits arrive. 'Twas barely a trickle compared to the flood of treasure hunters we have passed through here every day. While I appreciate your offer of aid, 'tis more your burden that concerns me. I'm told this trial company will answer directly to the antecedent, so I trust that means less work for you in the long run. Slathborn. The shipment. We couldn't. Godswoman, what befell? We were bringing a shipment to Revenant's Toll, provisions earmarked for the frontier effort, but just as we sought to cross over to Mordona, we were set upon by brigands. I believe they may have been heretics. There are many, too many. We only escaped with our lives by abandoning the supplies. Pray forgive us. There is not to forgive. Provisions can be replaced, but smart soldiers are hard to find. Take your rest and I'll have someone along to tend to those wounds. What to do? If heretics are involved, then this is like to be more than a case of simple thievery. Ishgard will need to be informed. Whence did these supplies originate? House Fortents, we collected the provisions from Camp Dragonhead proper. Understood, we shall see that they are apprised of this development. Ryugo, were you not on good terms with the Knights of House Fortemps? I will be sending them a missive immediately, of course, but I will also have you travel there and offer your considerable talents. I realize I contradict my earlier hopes to lighten your load. I was literally about to point that out. But I need someone who can help bring this incident to a satisfactory conclusion. Our favorable relations with Ishgard are far too important to risk half measures. Thank you for your understanding. I'm certain Lord Orshafant will be glad of your assistance. The music here just always makes the place sound miserable. Well, I visited my fine friend Rugo Hashigi. Would you care for a plate of roast kakarukurukuruka, the mulled wine? No, I see you've come to my home merely to escape the biting cold. In fact, I was on the verge of opening an urgent missive from Revenant's Toll, and I suspect the timing of your arrival is no coincidence. Catherine. Tom. Happens a lot in this area. His heart. Implacable. Alone? Hi. Go over there now. Beep beep. Why is there no crystal over here to teleport to? This is fucking stupid. If there aught you would ask of me, pray speak plainly. I'm a man of action and need no honeyed words. Up the trail of a band of thieving heretics, you say? By the Fury, do you seem destined to cross paths with those villains? I must confess then, 'tis a sad truth that the wild Gabe, good Tuesday to you. I hope all is well. I don't know why I'm talking like this. But 'tis not merely the newfound organization that confounds us. The heretics themselves seem changed. I know not what manner of influence these ice heart wields, but the men we face seem utterly lost in the grip of righteous fervor. 'Tis an unsettling and unnatural zeal. Perhaps you would care to question one of their recent victims. As fate would have it, your arrival came moments after a traitor was waylaid on the road. The patrol found the unfortunate fellow lying senseless in the snow and carried him to the infirmary. He has regained the use of his faculties. The merchant might recall some small detail that could aid you in your task. I'm alright. I'm alright. Yeah, it's fine. I'm just happy to be playing a game right now. Because otherwise I am quite overwhelmed with life and existing and trying to find the motivation to do the things I say I want to do. But I get to play a video game right now, so it's okay. Tell you what happened? Why yes, of course, I'm quite recovered enough for that. Anything to help catch those cowardly blackhearts. Traveling my usual route to Whitebrim Forest when a sudden blow sent me reeling. Next thing I knew, I was on the ground and several heretics were rifling through my cargo. Arms, armor, crystals, they were taking everything. 'Twas then that one of them noticed my bleary gaze and stalked over to better acquaint my head with his mace. Before darkness called to me, however, I distinctly heard the words, "Return to Snowcloak." I dare say that is where they were hauling my goods, but you'll not catch me rushing off in pursuit. They tell me 'twas a miracle I survived it all, and I'll not trust my thick skull to save me a second time. The Wilds of Snowcloak. That's the funniest thing ever. That's another one. Everyone's got the car now. Die, loyal heretic. Oh my god. Just one-shot that guy. House Durndare Knight. Draw your weapon Wait, I recognize you, adventurer. You were come seeking heretics? Then we share a common purpose. We were on patrol when we chanced across one of their raiding parties and pursued them here. By rights, we should have had them cornered in this ravine, and yet they are gone, vanished like icy wraiths. Okay. You glimpsed a woman atop the cliff. Could it be Iceheart herself come to sneer at our folly? Into where did she disappear? The heretics must have discovered a passage through the frozen wall. Some hidden tunnels had escaped our notice. We have not the men to risk further investigation. Wouldst be best we were to return to Whitebrim Front and lay our suspicions before Lord Drillmont. I wonder if the regalia actually flies in Final Fantasy 15, or this was just something they had to do for 14. I wonder if I can land on top of the tower and go in through the top. Oh. Oh my god. Here's my thanks once again. The surviving knights spared no detail in the report. The men you found out in your Stormcloak were some of my finest. They should be bested so handily. I fear I have woefully underestimated the threat these heretics pose. While I understand you might balk at the notion, I must ask that you put aside your mission and consider the stolen provisions lost to us now. What's to be ill-advised to blunder unprepared into what may well be the very lair of our enemy. Pray return to Dragonhead and inform Lord Hauchfont of your discoveries. Will wish to plan contingencies of his own. As for Iceheart and her fanatics, the freezing heights of Snowcloak will not shield them from our justice for long. Hauchfont. Lord Hauchfont. Oops. Avalanche. Okay. Blackborn. Gruff McGee. Rugo, 'tis good to see you return to the toll. How fared you in the frozen wastes of Carthus? As for Temps, if to send us a second shipment, I must send thanks to Lord Hauchfont for his continued generosity. As for Temps, is to send us yet even as our town grows in prosperity, I fear it will attract ever greater numbers of those who would wish to do us harm in the name of greed or power. All of us, Alpha Nodes and new recruits included, must remain vigilant against such threats. Meh. You were away in Querithus, preparations for the inaugural ceremony were all but completed, although Tataru does seem yet somewhat flustered. I've taken enough of your time. Why don't you head into the Rising Stones and see if your frantic receptionist could do with a hand? These parchments need to be sorted, and these documents, why are they even here? Oh, I am sorely tempted to file the lot of my waste paper basket. Ah, Rugo, you startled me. You wish to lend a hand? Splendid. Would you be a dear and hand these uniforms to the new recruits? They're scattered about Revenant's Toll, and I haven't the time to track them all down. Recruits know to don the garb immediately and assemble here in the Rising Stones. You'll want to report directly back to Alphino if you don't want to miss the ceremony. I wonder if the Scions will ever have matching uniforms. A well-funded organization is a well-dressed organization, I suppose. Oh my gosh. They're everywhere. Those who believe this company will see no riches are short-sighted fools. The giving of oneself is an investment in the future. Thus did I sign my name to the cause. These uniforms were a splendid idea. Once our organization has made a name for itself, there will be wealth aplenty in selling replica costumes to the adoring masses. Yeah, this won't go wrong at all. I thought it best to mimic my fellows here, but I admit I have no idea what they're supposed to be doing. Ah, our new uniforms. I am reminded of my induction into the Wood Whalers. Yes, that organization you betrayed. Hope that doesn't happen again. Did Crab message you about Friday? Yes. Yes, I'm good for that. Crab messaged you as well? Who else is involved? The Scarlet Garb marks me as a proud member of the Maelstrom, and a hardy defender of Limsa Lamensa, yet in truth, I stand for the betterment of the realm and thought this new company a fine opportunity to contribute on a grander scale. The striking shade of blue. Put alongside my Maelstrom uniform, my wardrobe will certainly not lack for color. I don't believe we've met. I am Ilberd, and I have the honor of leading my fellow recruits as captain. Much did I lose to the calamity, and I look forward to aiding others in rebuilding their lives. The uniforms are a shrewd decision. There's no easier method of creating a common bond among what is essentially a band of strangers. Are you okay if I invite a few others? I reached out to Travis about it already. I didn't know this was a mead handoff. I want to see Travis at some point. Little Alamigo could learn much from Revenant's Toll, that this town can be so alive in the midst of such desolation. Also, Jakub didn't mention where to me, so I assumed it was just gonna be my place. I've never worn aught quite so voluminous. Well, I'm sure I'll grow accustomed to the extra cloth in time. Yeah, that would be good. Cool. Maybe we could set up the game table next to the fire pit. We'd have to have a light too, obviously, but we can make that work. Rugo Hashigi, God, I did not expect you to be strolling about town. The tales of your primal battles are what inspired me to come to Revenant's Toll. It's an honor to receive this uniform from your hands. I shall wear it with pride. Hello there, lad. Looking for me, was you? I suggest giving you a whistle, but I'm not sure I'd hear it amongst all the bustle. Oh, proper uniforms and all. This thing will cut off the blood to me head. Not to worry, though. I'm sure she'll be fine after making a few adjustments. Ildar has at last retired from the adventurer's life, though I shall miss his wisdom and an irrepressible spirit. I'm excited to forge my own path afterwards. Or forwards, or whatever. Some path. Ah, yes, the uniform. Thank you. Truth be told, the thought of pledging myself to such a lofty organization is somewhat intimidating. Maybe you should see if Mason's interested too. Ah, Ryugo. Ataru mentioned you were handing out the uniforms. I assume you've now met the rest of the recruits? Some few answered the call to arms I put forth through the established grand companies and such. We are not yet an army, but there is much a small core of elite warriors can achieve. Did I mention I'd thought of a name for the company? Tis my hope that it shall soon be known as across the breadth of Eorzea. The moment of truth draws near, Ryugo. Once the last of the recruits have gathered, I shall make the official announcement. Blue. Hey, Faye. Alphino decided that he wanted a private military company. Got me involved with it. The Crystal Graves or whatever. I feel like that sentence is gonna tell me how much these guys are gonna matter. The Crystal Braves or whatever. Sounds like a baseball team. Ilberd is a bitch. I couldn't even tell you who that is. Is he one of their guys that got recruited? I'm so inspired right now. Mouthful. Won't even wear the uniform that you're making them wear. I'm alright. I am totally zonked by daylight savings though. Like I was crashing at like 5 o'clock yesterday. I slept great. And I know it's gonna hit me again today too. I'm gonna crash early. I hate this shit. Minfilia? Mid-Tekken set. Were you able to push through? What time was that for you? Oh, finally, Kryl. Oh, we were all so worried about Kryl. It was 3 AM all of a sudden and I had to open the next day. Damn. Damn. I seriously, I know everyone warned me, but this is sloggier than I thought possible. I've gone through like 10 quests today, and it's just been talking to NPCs the entire time. I fought like 2 random guys, and it took 20 seconds. I want to play the game. No. They thought the game was over. Actually, okay, I haven't heard this angle. Did they make 2.0 A Realm Reborn as a conclusion to the base game, and they thought it was going to, like, die quickly, and they thought there were going to be no expansions? Like, they didn't think they were going to make expansions when they made the base game? And they, like, while, maybe while they were making the first expansion, it caught them off guard and they were like, okay, well, we have to build up to this somehow. They thought they were just fixing the broken game. No DLC was planned at this time. Oh, so they were truly just, like, making shit up, weren't they? Like, they didn't know they could really build towards anything because they didn't know that they were guaranteed an expansion. I mean, I get it. I get it a million times over from the perspective of, like, the company, the development team, and from, like, the people who urge you to play beyond it. I get it. But this part of the game is, like just straight up bad. That's a cool hat. That's a really cool hat. Just for style, that's a cool hat. I don't like this guy. This guy's trouble. Very good. See that the provisions are prepared for transport. Let us hope that the shipment spared the fate of the last. He looks like a... He looks like Riku at home. He looks like Riku at home. Harshfang. He's the best character? He said some really sussy stuff earlier. But maybe that's just how he talks. The winds are uncommon fierce this day. I'm surprised he's that prominent. I'm sussy? If you could magically get elf ears without surgery, would you? Yeah. Am I gonna be the only one, or, like, do other people get to do it too? Because I don't want to be the only one walking around with elf ears, because they're... Oh, the Pope's here. I don't want to be everyone thinking that I'm the only elf, or, like, you know, I don't want them thinking that I, like, got surgery, even if I didn't. I want it known as, like, a thing that, like, people could do. If it was an option, like, if the character creator screen opened for everyone on the planet, and it was like, you can get elf ears now, I would say yes. You would not know that information when the opportunity was presented. This Pope. This Pope. I'm gonna say yes. Because I honestly would probably presume, in that circumstances, that that was a dream and that it wasn't real. Listen, I'm happy. I'm happy with how I am. I'm not, like, upset with my body or anything in the real life, in the flesh, and in the meat. But if, like, a character creator screen opened, I would go nuts. I would change a lot. I'm not unhappy with what I have, but if I had other options, that'd be really cool. Try as I might, I cannot shake a creeping sense of dark foreboding. But it avails us not to fret about the unknown. We must concentrate instead on the problems of the present. I think we're on the next patch, by the way, now. Let me look. Yeah, we finished 2.3 Defenders of Eorzea. This is now 2.4 Dreams of Ice. I think I would too if I have body dysmorphia. Or anything besides weight muscle, it would be my ears. I think that's... You're valid, but I think that's like a very common thought, right? Ears look fucking weird and alien. I don't think anyone looks at ears and be like, oh, that's beautiful. Like, I look at normal people's ears, I look at, like, good-looking people's ears, I look at famous people's ears, and I'm like, we're on Mars all of a sudden. I look at my ears and I'm like, those are weird. Oh, the proportion is what gets you? I've never thought too much about it. I've never thought that when I looked at you. But, again, everyone's more conscientious of themselves. Only 42 more quests to go before Heavensward. You want larger lobes. I do enjoy having descending lobes. My lobes do descend. The primals have been relatively quiet of late, and the beast tribes who summon them are under constant surveillance by the Grand Companies. Should any suspicious activity be afoot, you may be certain that we'll hear of it. And until such time as a permanent solution to the primal problem has been found, we can do little but wait and observe. As for the Asians, Urianger is wholly dedicated to finding the means by which we may defeat the Dark Beings. Let us pray for good tidings on that front. But all of this you knew already. Let us speak then of more current matters, in particular the state of the Crystal Braves. Alphino did well to found the organization, but ensuring its smooth operation is another matter entirely. Though I doubt not that he is doing his best, I felt that a helping hand or two could not go astray. To this end, I offered to send one of the Archons to assist him, but he declined. I know how he can be, independent to a fault and singularly loath to accept help. Save, of course, when that help comes from you. Alphino has entrusted countless matters of import to your care in the past, and I believe he would not hesitate to do so again. Were you to offer, I should be most grateful if you would to go to him, and support him in whatever man you are able. I just cover my ears with my hat or a beanie, no need to think about them. Ears are definitely the weirdest part of the human body. Me. And I am including, like, genitals in that too. I'm including, like, the whole human body. Ears are the weirdest. Like, genitals are weirder. I only think the genitals are weirder than ears is because we hide them and don't look at them very often. In ears, we have to see two of anytime we look at a person. Ears are such like a bizarre structure when you really look at them. Speak with Alpha Middle. Where is he? Is he inside? Did I miss him? He's in here. You're gonna make some breakfast. Yeah, go eat your breakfast. What is it, Rugo? And do be concise, I am rather busy. You would lend me a hand, you say? I see. Well, now that you mention it, there is a matter that wants for attention. Given its sensitive nature, I was hesitant to entrust it to my braves, but the demands upon my time are such that I had little choice. Which is not to say that my men want for labor. Though we are but newly formed, there is already a great demand for our services. And we are hard-pressed to answer all petitions, but I digress. The fact is, I would sooner attend to this particular matter myself, but my presence is required elsewhere. Excuse me. That being the case, I've entrusted its resolution to my second-in-command, Captain Ilberd. Oh, this guy. This who you're talking about. Tell him that I sent you, and he will furnish you with the particulars. My thanks in advance for you go. Very sorry. I like the use of the word particulars to refer to the details. You hate this guy? That sloppy bastard. Interesting.
That which I'm about to tell you, I tell you in strictest confidence. Some days ago, we received certain documents from an anonymous source. They notified us of the presence of a guardian agent within the ranks of one of the grand companies. Following some discreet inquiries, we identified a suspect among the immortal flames, whom we detained for questioning. Alas, the man was not our agent. He was but one of many men agents employed.
The car is fun, but I haven't had many chances to use it. The quests I've all done today were like, go recruit all the people, and it was like, just in sanctuaries for like 40-50 minutes. But I enjoy the car when I can.
We pressed the traitor for a name, but he had none to give. He claims never to have met his master, whom he knows only as the Ivy. He was, however, certain that this Ivy had coiled itself around every part of the immortal flames. It would seem our quarry joined the company some time ago, and gradually recruited others to his cause. These conspirators are the lines by which he learns our secrets. It won't be easy to identify the Ivy amidst this tangled mass of subterfuge. But we have attended on our hands, and we shall follow all the way to the gnarled roots.
Have you ever considered streaming game dev stuff? I've considered it, but I would want to reach a certain... Just like with art, I do want to stream art stuff eventually, but I have to reach a certain point of competence first before I would feel good enough to stream it, right? And I know, like, even starting out, like, tripping over my, like, own self, being confused, people would be supportive, but I would just not feel comfortable until I reach a certain point. I hope that makes sense. But ideally someday. It won't be easy. Oh, he said all the things. It's got its own category now. I'm kind of surprised it didn't before. Especially like the part where I'm at now with game dev. I was talking to Dylan about this a few days ago. Most of the time I've sunk into, at this point, was just basically choosing which engine I was going to use. And once I realized that realistically I need to be using Unity, I got really discouraged and I just haven't done much since then. I just don't think Godot's an option for me right now. As much as I would like it to be, it's not where I need it to be yet. I would not be able to develop at the rate that I would like to with Godot. And I have a lot of concepts in mind. I need to make a design document to actually formalize them. But that's the part I'm dragging my feet on the most, because I really just don't want to write up a design document. But it's kind of necessary before I really start. I can't just go in blindly with all these ideas. I have to organize them. Shut up, Billbird. And I feel like I do have a fully realized concept for a game, mechanically and narratively. I just haven't made it cohere yet into a single document. I need to like make I need to make all the ideas come together, and I also need to decide on some basic things like what I want the visual style to look like, because that's the part I have the most amount of uncertainty on. Is I want the game to have a strong visual identity, but I just don't know yet what I want that to look like. Godot is valid, but Godot is going to be a lot more of coding your own scripts as opposed to using the tools given to you from the editor. And I would like to leverage the tools given in the editor more. Unity, when I was practicing with Unity, it seemed a lot more easier to keep track of all the different, like, nodes and scripts I had tied together and their attributes and stuff. Keep it all organized than it was with Godot, which felt very, like, there were all these highly coupled pieces and it was hard for me to sort of keep track of what I was working on or how to make this inherit from that. Godot is, I don't want to give any impression that Godot is bad. It's just like, for me, in the near future, if I wanted to start now, I would need to use Unity. Which it's kind of annoying given the history of the company recently, but Game Maker, I've used before. Game Maker is good, but I want to use an engine where the skills are going to transfer better. Game Maker is kind of its own thing. And Unreal's just not really an option either, for several reasons. You want to make something like Shovel Knight. I have a good tutorial for you, Faye, if you're interested. There was one I did specifically for Unity that created a game somewhat similar to Shovel Knight. I don't want to speak of my game in terms of other games that often because I want the ideas to stand for themselves, but like, if I had to compare it to anything just really quickly on a very basic level, I would say like Hyper Light Drifter. Like Hyper Light Drifter mixed with like a Game Boy Zelda game. But again, I don't really want to speak of it in terms of other games that often. This must not be the Frog game. The Frog game kind of fell apart, right? So I was doing the Santa Claus Game Jam, where it was like, you write what kind of game you want, you submit it to Santa, then someone gets your game, they're Santa, they make the game for you, and you're someone else's Santa. And you develop their game. Both the person developing the game I was working on, and the person I was developing the Frog game for, left the game jam early. So I just got unlucky. That was a bit of a setback for me. That just kind of halted everything I was doing for a couple weeks. And that wasn't the usual experience. The game jam was an overwhelming success for most people. I just got really unlucky. It was a bit discouraging. Yeah, the Frog game was never intended to be like my actual game that I want to work on in a big way. I did have hopes for it and hope it could reach a certain point to maybe where I could polish it and put it out there regardless. I still might want to do that at some point. It might be good practice, but I'd probably start from scratch at this point. I don't like this guy casting aspersions on Reborn. Reborn is like one of the few wholly good people so far. I think I want to stop Final Fantasy now and move on to Lies of P. I'm already burnt out on this. Okay, I'm gonna take a BRB. When I come back, it'll be Lies of P again.